Okay, so if you have the set up your index.html file and then the style.css file, the link to the code for these starter files will be in the description, so you can download it and play with it. So the index.html file just have okay, there is no title, so let's put a header one tab, and then let's say countries in Europe, right? So, and then if we go to the styles, it's white, each one. So let's give the color blue, countries in Europe. Okay, so we have the index.html file that has the header countries in Europe, and then it has a parent container. So there's a div, this one. So this div is a parent container, and it contains all the children, that is the countries, of course, 1 2 3 4 countries in the European region, right? And then we have a style, the CSS files, which has styling, the margin, the border, the padding, the color, and then the font size, which is 18 points, and then the margin should be 0 and 0. The background color is this, and then so these are just styling to give us a basic understanding of what we are doing here, right? So Flexbox stands for flexible box, which is what you are seeing. The box is what is flexible. The parent box is flexible. The children boxes are also flexible, right? So the basic understanding of Flexbox is that how does the box allocate the remaining space, the space that's unused. So you see that we have just 4 children here. So if we have more, then the whole space will be filled up, right? So how do we allocate this space? Do we distribute them to each of the elements, or do we say that one should have more space than the other? Okay, so this is how Flexbox works. This is just the basic understanding of Flexbox. So, and for you to use Flexbox in your code, you need to specify in the parent container, in the parent div, in the main container, you need to specify the display to be flex. So that's what is specified here. Now basically we have 2 axes, so let's give it the mean height. Let's give it 500 pixels. Okay, before you can actually understand how Flexbox is, you need to understand the vertical axis and the horizontal axis, or the main axis. So by default, this flex styling is in horizontal, or the main axis, which means from left to right. So if you understand this, you'll be able to know what is justified content and what is aligned content. This is from left to right, and this is from the vertical or the cross axis, from top to bottom. So when you are talking of justify content, when you are talking of justify, you are talking of from left to right, which is the horizontal. When you're talking of alignment, you're talking of from up to down. Okay, so and how do you remember this? You remember it when you are typing text. When you want to justify paragraphs, if you have a paragraph of text, is from what, left to right, right? So use justify, and then just remember that when you need to justify the content from left to right, you are talking of the horizontal axis, and when you need to align items, you are talking from the top to down. Okay, so let's go to the code. Okay, before we go to the code, I would like you guys to join my subscriber challenge. Please, if you have not subscribed, kindly hit the subscribe button, and if you like this video, please hit the like button and leave a comment. Thank you. Okay, so we have this HTML file that has names of countries in Europe, and then it's in the parent container, and these are the children with some styles in it, right? So we want to see how the justify content and align items work. So if we go to the parent folder and we use justify content, and we say start. Okay, by default, if you say start, so what it means is start my content from the left to shift all my contents to the start. You know, we say that justify content is what is from left to right. So when you are dealing with left to right, you are talking of justification. So if you say start, it means start it from the left hand side, bring all my element and start it from the left side. So when you have start and you say justify content end, it takes all the contents to the right hand side. So very simple. Justify content is for left to right or right to left, right? So now if you want to also use okay, there are other things you can use also for justify content. You can use center. So justify content center means I put my center, so it puts all my elements in the center, left to right. Remember that we are looking at the horizontal axis. When you talk about justify, we are talking about left to right. Okay, and then you can also do justify content space around. You see, left to right is what we are still working on, horizontal axis, which is also the main axis. So put space between the elements or the children in this parent folder. Okay, and then if we look at space, what's other one? What other one do we have? Space evenly. Okay, space evenly, space around works almost the same, right? So now let's look at how the justify align items work. You know, we say align item is from top to down. We are moving from top to down, which is also the vertical axis. So if you say align items, and so align items, we can say start. You see now that it shifts all the elements, the div elements to the top. Okay, to the top. It shifts to the top. So when we now say end, it's going to shift all these elements to the end, to the down. Okay, so align has to do with top and bottom. You are shifting the divs or the elements or the children in the container. You are shifting them up and down, not left and right. So you don't have to get confused anymore. This is the best way to understand align items and justify. So now there's the where it becomes more crazy is that you could also change the direction. Instead of making horizontal to be from left to right, you can now make horizontal to be from top to down. Now you do that by using flex direction. Okay, remember that this align items, okay, let's just start from here. Align items at this moment is what? Top to down. So if I say flex direction, okay, by default flex direction is row. Okay, so if I now change flex direction to column, okay, by default flex direction is row. So this is what it works. This is still, so by default it is row, and so if you say flex direction row, it still emulates the default behavior of align items and justify items. So, but if we change flex direction to column, now it treats, let me comment this out. You change flex direction to column, it treats the element as the other way around. Okay, it now changes other way. So in the align items now, instead of making it from top to down, it makes it from left to right. Did you see that? So, and then if you put align items at the start, so it's going to shift it to the start. It's going to align this item left to right, no longer top to bottom as the default behavior. I hope you get this little trick. Okay, so this is a simple trick that I want to show you about how to understand what is the difference between the align items and then the justify content. And of course, when you now use flex direction, it reverses this behavior. Okay guys, thank you for watching, and please do like my video and subscribe.